So about a month or two ago, I asked for your help to come up with a special for 1000 subs. And I ended up going with a friend's request being doing a video on my overall anime experience. So stop me if you heard this story. It all began in the 90s with the television airing Dragon Ball and you know the rest. After that, I would watch a couple of other series, but even today I have faint memories of them, such as Ghost Rider Mikami, Rama 1/2, Saint Seiya, Ronin Warriors, and this was all on Spanish television. However, the only series that I remember and took the world by storm was Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and eventually Dragon Ball GT, which, looking back at it, it's not as good as I thought. Around 4th and 5th grade, I was into Pokemon and Digimon like everyone else, and the same can be said when I was in middle school. During my teens there, it was all about Yu Hakusho and Yu-Gi-Oh! I still got the cards, man! But then years later, when I was a freshman in high school, is when anime kind of found its way back to me. And the animes that got me seriously invested were the big three. Those were the days when it was about Naruto, the 4Kids stuff of One Piece, and eventually Bleach on Adult Swim. To me, this is a phase everyone went through. Like, right now, looking back, I'm thinking, why was I so badly into this series? Not to say they're bad, but I'll get into more detail later how my tastes have changed over the years. Thankfully, during my junior or senior year, a classmate in my English class spoke of the recent Dragon Ball special Yo Sakuku and his friends, and also Dragon Ball Kai. After hearing this news, I decided to check on the series, and even though I already knew what was gonna happen, I found myself getting really invested. The same can be said that the very same classmate also gave me a bunch of the DBZ OST from the Kikuchi score. In the Spanish version, they kept the Japanese tracks rather than the Bruce Faulkner OST. So I was listening to these songs and felt even more motivated to watch the Kai series, but then I put it on hold because they changed the soundtrack. So I left it hanging and actually started reading manga online. And the first series I was reading was Yu Hakusho, simply because I never got to see the rest of the series due to the Chapter Black and Three Kings sagas airing at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So some of you may ask, why didn't I just watch it online? Well, that's because I didn't know that many websites. It was also around this time that I started to buy animes, beginning with Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z Steelbook movies, and even Naruto, which I still have. So at some point in college, I'm guessing in my first year, I decided to check out Kai and saw it all the way through, and I found it to be a very enjoyable experience. Reliving these great moments and waiting every week for the next episode to be subbed. Yes, I'm aware I already knew the story, and the episodes for the original Z were available just about everywhere, but I wanted to enjoy the moments as they come, and I realized that it wasn't nostalgia that made this a very good show. Even to this day, you can compare Dragon Ball to other series and it still fucking holds up. That is why it gets redubbed, re-released, re-aired on television, and it still sells and appeals to a new generation of children and adults. So, being in the Dragon Ball spirit, I was curious to see if anyone did a list of the best movies, and this is how YouTube entered my life. I spent time looking around YouTube for this foreign thing known as reviewers and see what they offered, and I was kinda displeased. When I looked around for lists, all I found was shit. A lot of people were just talking about Broly and were overlooking all the movies and some story elements and even some basic flaws. So around this time, I managed to get my hands on some reviewing equipment and decided to follow this saying. If you want something done right, do it yourself, which led me to debut on YouTube, not as the AnimeHERO, but as Hard to Make a Username Too. What a clever name. So, for about 3 to 4 months, I spent time uploading the DBZ movie reviews while I was attending college, and it took some time to even get 5 subscribers, but I still kept going. And around that time, I came across certain people who most of them would later become my friends. There was Super Saiyan 12311, Raiko Suken 1, or Insane Gundam Pilot Now, Savage 4 Panda, Savage White Panda Now, Adam A. Green, Walking Double O Dead, 301 Mernillo Boss, now Merlin Boss. See the times have changed? These were the earliest people I knew on YouTube and kept tabs on each other as we were growing our channels. Eventually, as more months went by, I was doing more reviews and started to explore anime. What I would do was watch some animes that I heard of as a teenager but never saw, like Blue Gender, Trigun, Gungrave, etc. So, another set of months passed, and I don't remember exactly how it started or how I met these people, but essentially, whenever this wonderful invention came to my life, known as Skype, I got to meet more people, such as King of Kill, Zoro Fanboy 124, Phoenix Kai, The Anime Blaze, Sasuke Dracon. Essentially, Skype brings people together, and with the usage of Google Hangouts, led to even more interactions with other people such as Lunar Spiral 1127, Shot Anime, Random Animation 5, Mr. Falcon Punch 996, Saiyan C3, Godzilla Padilla Z. Shintai Reviews, Dual Killing Anime, Yokurama, and Kirua Godspeed. I think that's everyone. So, how has YouTube been to me? A few copyright problems here and there, met some rude people, but aside from those minor things, it's been good. I made 1,000 subs within 2 years without resorting to chapter or episode reviews, which was a goal of mine that I'm happy to have done. So does this mean that I'll start doing some chapter reviews, episode reviews? Nah. Let me tell you a bit of myself on how my taste of anime have drastically changed. Back then, around 2011, the big three were in the top 10 on my list, but with the way things have been going, I lost interest. My problems with One Piece is a slow pacing, especially when you're caught up to the manga, and that's my only problem with it. The fact that I'm caught up and the recent arcs more or less seem repeats of the first series of One Piece, such as Arlong Park with Fishman Island, Drum Island being similar to Punk Hazard, and currently with Alabasta and Dressrosa. While it's not exactly the same thing, you can still see the similarities between the landscape and some of the antagonists. Aside from those nitpicks, I have no grudge or anything with the series. Naruto and Bleach, on the other hand, I just gave up. Right now in both series, I'm not into the characters and the writing has been very shaky, especially Kishimoto's with the whole Uchiha and Obito business, and his young women are unrealistically stupid. I don't have to explain myself for that. But enough ranting and onto what kind of things I'm into. In terms of anime and manga, I'm really into 80s and 90s and sometimes go a little bit back to the 70s, although there's a lot of shows that I have yet to see. It was around 2011 where I encountered manliness taking the form of a series known as Fist of the North Star. There has been other series that I have enjoyed such as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Sakigake Otokujuku, Kongo Bancho, Goku 13, and Ashita no Joe, to name a few. While there were other genres and styles found in series like Berserk, Devilman, Bubblegum Crisis, Gintama, etc., there's a personal reason why I'm into very masculine shows. These series are inspiring me in more ways than one. Usually people are inspired to draw or write when it comes to reading or watching anime. In my case, it's helped me understand the path an adult must take. Recently it dawned on me that I'm gonna be 23 in March, and sooner or later there will be a time where I have to leave my home in order to pursue my dream career, which is being a comic book artist and writer. Personally, I have this gut feeling that certain life experiences will help me in developing this comic. In other words, to make a dream real, I need to mature. This is why I have this great affection and respect for masculine series and fictional stories as a whole. Thank you.